Hi, it's Exploring John, and today we're going to take a kayak trip down the Antietam Creek. This is one of the top 10 creeks in the nation for kayaking. Alright, here we are with our kayaking group for the day. We're getting ready to put in and head downstream. Here we go, starting to put in. Here's Mike and Aaron carrying down his kayak. He's getting ready to put in. He launched another one. There goes Aaron putting in. We're out here, we're watching people go down the creek. Get ready to follow them. Watching as Gary comes down through the rapid. Here we are catching up with the rest of our group after the rapid. Now we'll float downstream and head for the next one. So as we look at the side, this will give you an idea how fast we're floating down the creek. Pretty good clip.
But like down by like the end of the driveway, mailbox, that stuff, like yeah, but I could do.
Here we are floating down the creek. Not a care in the world.
What was our brand? What's the R one?
Here we are a little farther down on our trip.
They say, quick, run, hide before they find us. The mom and dad are on. They realize they're gone. They're going to find them.
First we saw some ducklings go up our right side, and there went the parents up the left. And we're continuing down the creek. Okay, we're coming up on a bridge. One of the bridges that we'll be going under. And here's another way to ride the kayaks. And Aaron says, I'll just sit there. Alright, we're up closer to the bridge, getting ready to go on there. It kind of pushes our group together to get through. Oh, look what we see up here on the shore and in the grass there. We got the parents and there's some little ones in the grass. Rooting around. Now we have a little ledge we're going to go over. Kind of stay to the left. This is usually dammed up with rocks and it's too deep to see the rocks. There's a swing here that people like to swing out and drop into the creek. With the water up, we're missing a lot of rocks. We're coming up on the historic Burnside Bridge. Now a year or two ago, they redid the whole bridge, removed rock, cleaned it up and all, and put it back, and now the bridge looks real nice. Here we're getting closer to the bridge. We see people up on top looking over at us. That's the center arch. Zoom out a little bit and look at the whole bridge. We'll take a look at some of the birds' nests underneath the bridge. They like to build up there on top of the arch. So then out and Down the creek we go. We're heading to a dam that we're going to have to shoot over. We're coming up on the dam here. We're going to have to shoot the dam. Now we like to do it on the left side or left middle. Let's see what happens as we get close. Let's see Mike go over. There he goes. Now it's my turn. Now that was wild, wasn't it? We're coming up on what's known as Molly's Hole. You can see some people fishing up there. We come up to the first pipe, and the water's so deep we can get under it. And that's rare. Normally the water's not deep enough to do this. Well, that wasn't too good. Here we're coming up on the second pipe, but the water's not deep enough for us to get under that flow. And on down we go. Here we're coming up on the next set of rapids. This is a turn too in the creek. We'll have to work our way around here. And move it on down. Leisurely trip on the creek. Alright, we pulled over there and had a little rest break. Had to pull the plug and drain the water out of my kayak that I got from that pipe. Didn't expect that, but that's all part of kayaking the creek. Here we are, coming up on another rapid. We'll skirt around it and move on. Just floating down the creek. Skirted the rapid. The water's still a little bit rough, but we're making our way through. Trying to miss the rocks as we go. Levi! There we see some of the geese. And up ahead we saw some of the little goslings. We'll see if we get close enough to get a shot of them. But here we go meanwhile. Well, we're seeing turtles over here. They're on the bank. There were two. Look at this on the stump. There's a little turtle there. See it? On the right side, up from the water line. Some of nature we see out here on the creek. Isn't that great? Here we're going through a rapid. Well, that wave came in. Got a little wet, but that's alright. That's all part of kayaking. On down the creek we go. Alright, we're farther down, and people are talking about a little bit of everything. You know, I don't show a lot of the just sit back and relax part. I tried to show all the rapids. Of course, they're tough to do while you paddle and hold the camera, but for you, I'll do it. Watch us go down the creek. Alright, we're showing you the creek again. We're farther down and just kind of floating and letting the creek take us along. Okay, we're looking over here and you can see how fast we're floating down the creek. We got a pretty good clip here. At least 4 miles an hour, if not a little bit faster. We're coming up on what we call the island. It's a little bit of land that juts out there into the creek, and in times of high water it is an island. Most of the times it's just a piece of, like a little peninsula, if you will. So this kind of gives us an idea of where we are on our trip. and locally it's known as Goose Poop Island. Okay, we're at another little rapid here. These are real small, especially with the water up. It's not bad at all. At times I've gotten stuck here on the rapids when the water was low. But it's a little rough and we'll just float on by. It's really nice floating on the creek when the water's up. We miss a lot of the rocks. All right, we're coming up with another series of rapids. We call them rapids. Let's just call it whitewater. Uh-oh, big rock. Well, we had to drop the camera down there so I could paddle to get around that big rock there. I didn't want to get stuck on it. Every time you see this white water, that means there's a rock, so you got to be careful of them, because it will hang you up and it can flip you around and even turn you sideways enough that water starts coming in. Here's a white water there and a big rock. We just missed it. Wow, that was close, wasn't it? That's this section. It's got a lot of rock. You just got to watch for it. We're trying to miss this one, and no, we didn't. It just turned us around, and now we're going downstream backwards. We're letting the current straighten us up. Some of our kayakers going by. Here's some of the rapids we're passing, some of the rocks. We got to be careful. You already saw me turned around once, so hopefully you won't see me turned around again, but who knows. Watch Sarah go through the rapids there. Here we have one of the Easter Island heads here on the bank. It's one of the things we look for. It's pretty cool. Now we're looking down the creek as we float. We don't have to paddle, the current's taking us. About all we have to do is just keep straight. We'll look here on the side and you can see the speed of our drift. Okay, we've pulled in here for a little break on the beach. This is here at the beach at Charman's Run, and I'm going to take a quick look at us. And we're ready to put back in. We're back in our kayaks, and right away we got some rapids. You're already past it. If this was lower, this would be something we'd have to deal with. But with the water up, it's pretty nice. We're missing all the big rocks. Look over to our right at the white water. Lynn's going to go over there and run it. We can hear the birds. We've seen the nature. Really nice trip today. Being that it's been raining all weekend, or threat of rain, we don't have many people out here, so we have the creek to ourselves. There's some more rushing water to our left, and some rapids and some big stuff ahead. We better move over so we don't run into that. Looks like a big rock there. Big tree behind. We just gotta drop our camera and go with it. Stuff out here on the creek sometimes. Trying to hold the camera in one hand and paddle in the other. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. On we go. Big rock here in the middle. We're showing you a lot of the rapids, not so much of the just slack where we just sit back and let the current take us, but we're showing you what's exciting, not what's dull. Okay, we're down to the spot we call the beginning of the end. Usually we see this rowboat over here in the weeds, and that signals that this is the beginning of the end. We've got this rapid here, a little bit of smooth water, a little bit of calm water. And then it's rock and roll till we go over the ledge right before Harpers Ferry Road. Here's our point where we call it the beginning of the end, where this rowboat is. We're going to come down here and shoot the rapids. Whoa! I lost my hat! Alright, I lost my hat in the creek and now I fished it out and on we go. And the wind back there at the rapids, and a lot of times at rapids we find there's some wind there. It blew my hat off. I did retrieve it. Now I got it back on. It's a little bit drippy, but down the creek we go. Okay, we're coming down to the final big rapid before the Ironworks Bridge. This rapid we basically call rock and roll because when you hit it, that's all you can do is keep your nose downstream and go between the rocks and roll on. Now going by the rocks we see here, this looks like it was the beginning, or this looks like the spot where the Ironworks Dam was. And we see rocks on both sides and it's gone and it looks like it was all knocked downstream, and that's why this is rock and roll, all the rock in the creek. So here we go. See everyone else starting it. Look at that rock there, all out. You know, on the other side we see a rock structure too. Here we go, through the rock and roll. You see the Ironworks Bridge, and right before that's the big ledge. Trying to keep our nose downstream. Coming up on the big drop. Here's our ledge. We took some water in. Here was our takeout spot. Here we are at the Ironworks Bridge, taking out and going up the little trail here. It's funny, the current's taking me upstream. Waiting for our turn to get out. Looking back at the rapid. Usually that's more of a drop on that ledge there, but the river's up, so it's backed up all the way. Alright, we're done with our trip. We loaded the kayaks up on the trucks, and we're headed on out of here. See you next time.